Good afternoon. Well, okay, I'm done. I'd like to thank you all for coming here this afternoon to celebrate the accomplishments of all the individuals that you hear about today that have really helped and are continuing to help make our early stage ecosystem the strongest in the country. I'm extremely honored to be able to present this year's Impact Award to Mark Malandro. For those of you that I have not met, my name is Evan Fasher, and I currently oversee the University of Pittsburgh's Innovation Institute. So the Innovation Institute was established in November of 2013 with Mark as its founding director. And the purpose of the Innovation Institute is to serve as the hub of all commercialization activities on Pitt's campus, doing everything from overseeing the entire intellectual property docket to licensing technologies to existing companies, to creating new companies, to working with early stage companies in the region through our SBDC. And then also we have a whole host of immersive programming for faculty, staff, and students on campus that help educate them on innovation and entrepreneurship. So the role that I currently occupy is the role that Mark created on campus when he helped form the Innovation Institute. And it's the last role he had on campus before he left us to go to the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. So it's with mixed emotions that I stand in front of you today because I worked directly for Mark for about half a decade, helping him to create the Innovation Institute, and I find myself in the current role only because he left us, for good reason, however. So I wanted to give you a little brief history of Mark so you appreciate where he came from and where he is now. So his roots are not far from the Pittsburgh area. He did his bachelor's degree and his master's degree at Youngstown State University. He then moved down south to the University of Florida, where he did his PhD in biochemistry and molecular biology, and then he followed that by doing a postdoc fellowship at Case Western Reserve in Cleveland. On the heels of this postdoc, Mark made the move to the dark side and went into business. So he had left the bench and helped, was one of the early employees at a company called Solera AgGen, and that was his move from the East Coast to the West Coast, and that was based in Davis, California. From there, he then co-founded his first company called Sagres Discovery, which was a company focused on understanding the molecular basis of cancer. He was the vice president of technology and strategic alliances. And then in 2004, the company was acquired by Chiron, and he came over to Pitt, where he served for 13 years. And I'm going to skip the Pitt piece for a second, because since he left us, I at least want to give you a sense of where he is now, and then we'll come back and talk about his impact specifically from a Pittsburgh perspective. So as Kelly mentioned, Mark is currently the vice president of operations for science at the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. In this role, Mark is involved with helping provide funding to accelerate biomedical sciences, doing so through a whole collection of network series of research models, and is focused on developing transformative technologies. We're also pretty confident that our Mark is the most important Mark at the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, more important than the guy who was in front of Congress a couple of weeks ago testifying. But at his time at Pitt, his last position was as Vice Chancellor for Technology Management and Commercialization. And as mentioned, he was also the founding director of the Innovation Institute. However, during his 13 years there, he was also the director of the Office of Technology Management, the director of the Office of Enterprise Development. He was an adjunct professor in medicine, in bioengineering, and in business administration. So over those 13 years, he had a significant impact, and that's really what we're here to talk today about his award. So at the bottom line, the impact was, under his leadership, the university filed over 1,100 new U.S. patent applications and was granted 610 patent applications. While he was overseeing these functions at the university entered into over 1,200 licensing agreements. We formed almost 90 new companies during his tenure at Pitt. In 2016, which is the last year we have publicly available information from a technology commercialization perspective, University of Pittsburgh was in top 20 for each of those categories when compared to any university across the entire United States. The university, during Mark's oversight, went from an afterthought as it was related to technology commercialization to being at the forefront. And this was all the result of Mark's drive to make the University of Pittsburgh one of the elite as it related to commercialization of research. So these amazing strides in enhancing the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship are still reverberating through the halls of campus, even though Mark's not there. I anticipate in this fiscal year, which for us ends in about 6 weeks, Pitt will again break all of its previous records as it relates to all of those commercialization activities. For example, this year alone, we've already surpassed our new company creation mark. Last year, the record was last year where we spun out 15 new companies. As of yesterday, we spun out 19 already, and we still have another 6 weeks left this year. To put that into perspective, that would put us in the top 10 or so universities across the entire United States as it relates to new companies being spun out based on university technology. So when we talk about impact, that's your impact. Taking the R&D, an $800 million R&D budget, taking a university that was 230 plus years old and helping to change its culture to one that's focused on innovation and entrepreneurship, being involved with transferring thousands of technologies to the marketplace, being responsible for the creation of over 100 new companies, helping to take a regional economy that was manufacturing focused and help move it to an innovation focused one where we're looking at information technology, robotics, healthcare, and life sciences. So that's not too bad, right? When we talk about impact, that's not an insignificant amount of impact to have over a relatively short period of time. So while on the one hand, I regret that when Mark returned to the West Coast, Pittsburgh lost an incredible talent as it related to championing innovation. On the other hand, I know that he left us with a tremendous roadmap for success. The other thing I regret is that now in this position for 9 months, I see all the messes that he created that I'm forced on a day-to-day basis to clean up. We all miss Mark, but we are grateful for the fact that he left behind a really talented and dedicated staff that has a rock-solid record of accomplishment and where the sky is the limit for us. So with that, I'm honored to ask Mark to come up to the stage to accept his well-deserved award.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Evan. I have to say this is the first time in 9 months that I've worn a suit and tie, and it still feels a little bit odd. But I wanted to thank the PVCA, the board, the members, everyone here, everyone from the Innovation Institute. Say, when I came to Pittsburgh, I wanted to do a couple things where I hope that I could have made an impact on people's lives and an impact on the economy, and so that's why this award is so special to me, and I'm just happy to be up here with the other names that are mentioned as well. The second was to build something at Pitt that others would take and use as a foundation from them to do even better things. And when we started the Innovation Institute, it was really to serve as a foundation. It wasn't the end of things, it was just the beginning. And so to have people like Evan and others picking up and doing even better things is really exciting to me. And I've just real quickly wanted to give you sort of 2 lessons that I've learned being in Silicon Valley for 9 months now. Our offices are in Palo Alto. The first is the number of people who will speak to you when you're asking for money rather than giving them money is very, very different. So when you have the checkbook, people will talk to you. And I think second is I want to caution Pittsburgh in not trying to become the Silicon Valley. There's a heart, there's a dedication, there's a compassion here that doesn't exist out there. And so it really makes this place very, very special. And so I don't consider myself moving to California. I consider myself doing a sabbatical, and hopefully one day my kids are here and we'll find our way back here. So thank you very much for this honor. Very much appreciate it.